52nd annual St. Sophia's Greek Cultural Festival kicks off right here in Syracuse.
One of the most historic buildings in Syracuse is getting a facelift.
Your NCC News at 4 starts right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to NCC News at 4. I'm Caleb Spinner.
And I'm Cedric Derecho. Let's get to our top story.
One of Central New York's most beloved traditions is back and better than ever. Our very own Vanaya Johnson is live on the scene where the celebration is already in full swing.
Opa! If you're hungry, this probably isn't the best place to be unless you're ready to try everything. The 52nd annual St. Sophia's Greek Cultural Festival is taking full effect right now. Inside the kitchen at St. Sophia's, volunteers are hard at work preparing one of the city's most beloved cultural celebrations.
Most of it is all made here. The ladies, not just the ladies, people make it, and it's an enormous amount of work.
Traditional pita bread is baked on site, warm and ready to be shared. And no Greek celebration is complete without pastries, many made from recipes passed down for generations. It's not just the food, it's a showcase of Greek culture and history, from ancient art to the spiritual home of the festival St. Sophia's Greek Orthodox Church. Behind the scenes, teams of volunteers are making it all happen. Mariana Politis is one of many keeping this tradition alive, sharing what goes into intense planning behind the scenes.
We don't stop planning. There's a lot of thought and energy that goes into it. We start staging it by March, ordering, prepping. There's different committees for each section that they meet all year round to make sure that everything is executed accordingly, that we have everything on hand. If we need anything, we need to get ahead of it and start ordering it.
Beyond the food and fun, visitors can take a piece of Greece home. From imported olive oils to handmade gifts, it's a celebration of culture, faith, and community, right here in the heart of Syracuse. Now, whether you're here for the music, the dancing, or let's be honest, the food, it's all just a big fat Greek celebration that keeps bringing the community together year after year. And don't worry, they'll be open till 9 p.m. tonight, so you can come out here and get your baklava, your gyros, and maybe even some of that fried cheese back there. I might have to go and try some of that, so I'm going to toss it back to you guys at the desk. Caleb, Cedric, back to you.
Well, I know what I'm doing this weekend. Vanaya, thank you. And if you need more to do this weekend, Taste of Syracuse begins tomorrow in Clinton Square. The annual event has been a staple of the area for more than 25 years and is considered the kickoff of the summer. Taste of Syracuse showcases local brands and food vendors Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
The Syracuse stage has announced its final play of the 2024-2025 season. The play, called The National Pastime, is about a baseball game between the United States and Cuba in 2017. The stage says that it blends baseball, bureaucracy, and blurred truths. The play runs from June 11th to June 29th.
The show might not go on at the Westcott Theater. Code enforcement officials say the theater's message that this weekend's program would go on as planned was premature. Officials closed the theater on Tuesday, but the venue's socials shared a post yesterday saying they'd be open for the weekend as planned. The theater still needs to get an entertainment license and pass a fire inspection this afternoon before it can reopen. Another theater in Syracuse is currently closed, but for a very different reason.
The Landmark Theater is under construction, hoping to return to its original appearance. Ryan Bell joins us live with an early update on the progress.
Yeah, guys, behind me is one of the most historic buildings in Syracuse, the Landmark Theater. And today, restoration efforts are underway to return the building to its original glory from opening day back in 1928. The theater announced the restoration of the 97-year-old building yesterday, although they started the process 2 weeks ago. This summer's work will include restoration and repainting of the pronaos balcony and the walls and the balcony rail and the ceiling. The executive director of the theater, Mike Anteglia, says returning the venue to its former glory is important to enhance the city's rich theater culture.
The people that work on this show, the people that attend it, that are in theaters all across the country, always tell us how special this theater is. And we're really trying to give it the glow up that it deserves going into, almost our 100th year in 2028.
Over 150,000 people came to the theater last season, and they expect more next season, and fans won't have to wait too long. The theater reopens in September for opening day, which will be Hamilton. For now, live in Syracuse, Ryan Bell, NCC News.
We go back to Caleb, who has our weather report. How's it looking out there, Caleb?
Well, the same face at a different place, giving you what to look forward to this weekend, or rather just what's going to happen. You won't want to look forward to much of this. Taking a look at what we've got today, 83 degrees as it stands right now. Feels like 84, not too much difference there. Not as hot as yesterday, but there are two main differences to yesterday. One is the humidity, almost at 60%. It's a heavy, humid heat today, and as well the strong winds right here at 10 miles per hour. It is not the hottest ever, though, as we take a look back in history. On June 5th, 2021, it got all the way up to 93 degrees, and for the low, it went all the way down to 43 degrees 25 years ago on this very date in 2000s. Taking a look at the day for tomorrow, if you take a look in the morning, it's going to be the coldest of the day, and then as we get along, about 72, high 60s, low 70s throughout the day. But the biggest thing coming in here is going to be the rain. About 45, right about % of precipitation all throughout the day. Rain to close, thunderstorms in the afternoon. And now up ahead for the weekend as well. Some good news, there's going to be perfect temperatures to want to be outside. The bad news, you won't want to be outside. Mid to high 70s with a high chance of rain all throughout your weekend going into the early bit of next week. So keep your eyes on the skies and enjoy the warmth at your own risk.
President Donald Trump signed an order banning travel from several countries to the U.S. The ban restricts entry from 12 countries. The president made the call on the order following the anti-Semitic attack in Colorado on Monday. The proclamation includes exceptions for lawful permanent residents, existing visa holders, certain visa categories, and people whose entry benefits U.S. national interests. The Trump administration is pressuring the Middle States Commission on Higher Education to take away Columbia University's accreditation. Accreditation is a process where schools and programs are checked to see they meet basic standards of quality. The U.S. Department of Education says Columbia hasn't properly addressed anti-Semitism following Hamas's attack on Israel on October 7, 2023. If accreditation is removed, students would be ineligible for federal financial aid. Middle States is the accreditor for Columbia in Syracuse.
Coming up next on NCC News at 4, one of the biggest Pride Month events kicks off in just a few hours, and why this event has meant so much to the community. But first, worried that the new Mets t-shirt you've had your eye on might be a bit pricier than before? We'll tell you what we know when we come back.
National tariff policy is hitting home across the country, including in central New York. I went to NBT Bank Stadium to see how those tariffs are impacting the Syracuse Mets and what they mean for fans' wallets. Baseball is in full swing in Syracuse, but this season comes with the threat of higher prices thanks to tariffs. Prices inside the team store, however, have stayed about the same. Assistant GM Katie Stewart says that's because the Mets got ahead of the game.
We do a lot of our ordering, in the wintertime before the season even starts. So a lot of our deliveries started coming in before the tariffs were put in place. So we kind of missed out on a lot of that.
China's been the biggest target of President Donald Trump's tariffs, with duties as high as 125%. It also happens to be where the U.S. gets most of its apparel, more than a quarter of it, actually, according to the International Trade Administration. But Stewart says vendors moved fast to curb those extra costs.
A lot of the vendors were reaching out proactively and saying, we're not changing the prices for you, or expect that quotes are going to be, not be accurate any longer because of the tariff situation.
The bottom line, prices could go up later in the season when Stewart and her team place new orders, but she expects fans won't feel any squeeze at the plate.
Don't be scared. It's not anything that the fan is going to feel.
The Mets are home all week hosting the Buffalo Bisons, giving fans a perfect chance to see those prices for themselves.
We now go to Madison Haritzik, who has our 4 o'clock sports report. Maddie?
Thanks, Cedric. Welcome to NCC Sports. I'm Madison Haritzik. The annual Pride Night game hosted by the Syracuse Mets, well, they play ball in just a few hours. And it's an evening of tailgating and screaming the lyrics to Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And it's celebrating its 10th year as an official CNY Pride Month event. But it's also a night to love out loud. Syracuse Mets general manager Jason Smorrell has made sure this event happens every year since becoming the GM in 2014. Smorrell has worked to make sure Pride Night and every other special event feels just like another night at the ballpark, even if it includes special giveaways like custom jerseys and collectible memorabilia.
And one of the original goals was that Pride Night just becomes another night, just another party night, that it's not this great big statement, it's not this great big political movement, and it's just a night to celebrate and come together and positivity and love. And
Smorrell says the organization takes extra caution to make sure everyone attending the game can safely express themselves. And the Mets are hosting those Buffalo Bison in a 6-game series that's now split after Syracuse won last night. First pitch tonight is at 6:35. And the first ever PWHL expansion draft is underway, with women's hockey superstars like Hillary Knight and Sophie Jikes heading to Seattle and Vancouver. And in the midst of all of the chaos, former Colgate Raider Daniel Serdachny signed a 2-year contract with Seattle. Serdachny was the highest-ranked draft pick to come out of Central New York, going number 2 overall in 2024. Now, all 3 Syracuse alumni playing in the pros were left unprotected by their respective teams, including former Orange captain Jessica DiGirolamo. The expansion draft will officially end on June 8th. And the NBA Finals tip off tonight with the Indiana Pacers playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Pacers are chasing down their first NBA title and second ever appearance after taking down the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals in 6 games. Indiana entered the playoffs as the number 4 seed and haven't played a game 7 in its entire run thus far. Tip-off is in OKC at 8:30 p.m. on ABC, and you can tune in at 4:30 right here as Layla Rogers will break down the Thunder. And that'll do it for NCC Sports at 4 o'clock. I'm Madison Haritzik. Back to Cedric and Caleb at the desk.
Coming up next on NCC News at 4.
An unusual collaboration album as an old soul and an award-winning actor go back in time. We'll be right back.
I'll bet you've never thought you'd hear these words in 2025. A new Frank Sinatra album releases tomorrow.
Family Guy creator and star Seth MacFarlane has teamed up with Sinatra's team of composers to release a collection of songs the legendary singer never finished.
The album, titled Lush Life, The Lost Sinatra Arrangements, will be MacFarlane's 9th studio album.
The album releases on digital and vinyl tomorrow.
You know, Caleb, my grandpa's favorite song ever, My Way.
I've always been a Fly Me to the Moon kind of guy. Those are some great songs and very good classics, though.
Can't beat the classics.
Oh, no, you cannot. I'm eager to hear this. I'm going to be staying up till midnight just to hear this on Spotify. That's all the time we have for today on NCC News at 4. For today's top stories and more, visit our website at nccnewsonline.com or follow us on social media at NCC News Online. I'm Caleb Spinner.
And I'm Cedric Derecho. Be sure to stick around for our next broadcast at 4:30.